Welcome everyone to the 2021 Hour of Code that NAF has organized called Make Your Own Digital Business Card. And I'm here with Alana. Alana, you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Alana Garcia. I am a student of NAF Academy, and I'm an 11th grader at Dickinson High School.
All right, so Alana's going to be helping us out with this project. So the final project Alana and I will be creating is a digital business card that you can access through a QR code. So if you grab your phone and open up your camera app and point the camera to the QR code, you're going to see a link pops up. And what you should see is this business card. Very simple, just a picture of yourself, your name, a tagline, and some information about yourself.
All right, so what you will need is a computer with internet access, an account with Replit at that URL, an iPhone or Android phone. And if you do have an Android, you just install a QR code reader, and then you'll need beginner knowledge of HTML and a PNG or JPEG profile picture.
We mentioned that for this hour of code, you should have some knowledge of HTML. We want to go over some very basic things, and you can learn more at w3schools.com/HTML. So one of the first things is that all web pages are written in HTML and they're styled with CSS. HTML describes the structure of a web page, and each HTML element is defined by a starting tag, some information, and an ending tag. Here's an example of a simple web page that says hello world. You'll see it uses the H1 tag. The content is hello world ! And it has an ending tag. So here's our business card again, and I've broken it up into this table. And my question to you is, what HTML tags do you think we would use for our business card? So what do you think, Alana? Is there any from your HTML knowledge? Can you identify any tags that we're going to be needing to code our business card?
You're gonna need the H1 start and end to make your large heading. Then for the smaller heading, you're gonna use H2, H3, however small you want it. And then you're gonna use image source to put your images in.
Okay, great. There's a tag called img to display pictures. And you mentioned src. So src is the source. So what file, where is it gonna grab the picture from? So that might be a web page, or that might actually be a file name. Awesome. Okay, this project already has something called Bootstrap in the project. We want to give you an idea of what it is so that when you look at the starter code, you have some idea of what you're working with. It's a tool that developers use to make their websites responsive. So when you're looking at a website, there could be so many different size screens that you view that website on. It could be a very tiny screen on a cell phone. It could be a large desktop screen. It could be a tablet. So coding that website to look great on all of those different size screens is a challenge. So one of the tools in the toolkit of the programmer is something called Bootstrap. It's basically code that allows the website to look good across all of those different screen sizes. And here is how content is organized in Bootstrap. There's 12 bands, or you can think of these as units, across. And this layout that's shown here is made up of 5 different rows, and each row has a different number of columns. You can see that the last row just has 1 column. The second to last has 2 columns, etc. So again, you don't need to worry too much. We just wanted to explain what's in the project. As we mentioned, the Bootstrap content is laid out in rows and columns. So here's a question for you, Alana. If the Bootstrap grid is made up of rows and columns, how many rows and columns do you think we need for our business card? Or how would we break it up into rows and columns?
For our business card, well, the one that you have already made, it looks like it has 1 column and about 6 rows.
Okay, so here's one piece of content, another piece of content, and they're stacked on top of each other. So you're right. I think I would wonder too. What about this? Doesn't this look like more than 1 column?
It does.
Our business card layout is a little bit more complicated than it seems to be. It is true that we have 1 column, but starting from rows 4, 5, and 6, the content is actually broken up into 2 columns, and we'll see this in the code. So we can think about our digital business card project as having 2 parts. The first part is coding our web page, our digital business card. The first thing you'll do is create an account at replit.com. Next, you'll go to the link posted on the screen, and you'll have to fork or copy the business card starter code. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Once you have the project open, you will follow the instructions in the comments. After going to the project link, your screen should look something like this. And you'll see a blue button at the top right-hand corner that says Fork REPL. This will create your own copy of this project. The second part is creating the QR code that will take us to our digital business card. We'll do this by creating a very small Python program. The first step, as before, is going to the project link, and you're going to fork or copy the starting code. Lastly, you'll follow the instructions in the comments, just like part 1. All right, Alana and I have a challenge for you. Could you use your HTML knowledge to code our design? Maybe. Maybe you have enough HTML knowledge to take what we've given you, this business card, and code it from scratch without our starter code. We're going to let you think about that and see if you want to challenge yourself. Coding is awesome because there's not a single way to make something, make a web app. There's different ways to code it. There's different languages. And we challenge you to think about if you could recreate this without using our starter code.
Okay, so I'm going to make an account with Replit now. Being created.
Okay, now we have our index.html, and we're going to select all of this code and paste in our starting code. We had previously copied the starter code, and now we are pasting it in. In our case, we had to create a new project and copy the HTML code, which we've done. But now if you notice, the picture has disappeared because we didn't copy over the sample picture. So we're going to resolve that as we go. So Alana, you want to start with the first to do on line 12?
So the first to do, the line below is an empty title tag. The title tag defines the title of the document. which is what you see in the tab of the browser. Enter your name between the title tags and uncomment this line of code. So you're going to go between these two title tags. It should have a line of text that you would just erase. And then you would type in your name.
Okay, perfect. And this line of code was already, Alana had already uncommented it. And the way that you uncomment a line of code, well, there's really two ways. Either you can select it and hit Control/, or you can just click on the opening caret, exclamation mark, dash, hyphen, hyphen at the beginning and the hyphen, hyphen, caret at the end. And that's going to get rid of the comment. And you can see Alana just turned it back into a comment by doing that same keyboard command. Okay, great. So hit run for us. So as you can see, when we hit run, we don't see any visual change. Remember that this goes on the tab. If we want to see the tab updated, we have to hit the open website, which is next to the pencil icon. Open in a new tab. Go ahead and open it. So at the moment, we're not seeing the change updated on our tab, but I have a feeling that it's gonna show up as we keep going. There might be some issue with Replit. So let's keep going to our second to-do.
Okay, to-do number 2, the HTML IMG tag is used to embed an image in a web page. The first step is to upload a picture file of yourself by clicking on the 3 dots next to the add folder icon and selecting upload file. Replace the value of the SRC tag inside the quotes with the name of your file.
Okay, great. So Alana's going to show us how you upload a picture of yourself into this project. And we're going to see it appear there. Notice she named it Alana G, and it's a JPEG file type. So show us the next steps, Alana. Some learners may have a problem here where they accidentally miss a letter or don't type the file name exactly as it is. That will cause the web page to not display correctly. So you really have to check the file name and make sure you write it exactly as it's spelled. Great job. All right, so go ahead and hit run and let's see the updates.
There we go. Shows my picture. All right. So,
all right, great. So we see Alana's picture there updated, but we want to keep going because we're not quite done yet.
Okay, so you're going to do to the next to do, which is number 3, and it says in the line below, the H1 defines the most important heading. Replace the content between the H1 tags with your name, replacing Kyla Tan. So you're gonna go here.
Ooh. Yeah, that should say Gloria Jimenez, but the point is to go ahead and replace what's inside the H1 tag, which is probably not your name. So go ahead, Alana. As you're coding, hit run because we don't want to code too far ahead and find multiple mistakes, it becomes harder to debug if you're not constantly testing your project.
Okay, so to do number 4, the P tag defines a paragraph. Replace the content of the P tag with your chosen tagline, which may highlight an area of work, experience, or a career goal.
Okay, great. So what do you think you want to use for your tagline?
I can do I don't know.
You could say NAF student at Academy of, and then put your academy information. That's a great tagline.
So the next to do is to do number 5. The Font Awesome is a font and icon toolkit based on CSS and less. On line 45, paste the Font Awesome icon for telephone.
So we have a mini challenge for you, which is to add, just like the email address and the website, they have an icon representing that piece of data and an HTML tag. So we're going to challenge you to figure out the icon for the telephone using Font Awesome. Now we have a cheat sheet for you that will help you figure it out. So if you want to pause the video, we encourage you to try to see if you can figure out what tag you need to display a telephone. Okay, we also have a hint there if you're stuck. If you look at the code below for the email and for the website, you should be able to see some patterns, maybe even guess what code you need to display a telephone. But if you're really stuck, you can watch Alana as she completes this to-do.
All right, so now I'm gonna paste the telephone icon coding. Then we're gonna press run to check if it fits right. And yep, it does. So now we're gonna scroll down and read to do number 6. To do number 6, in the line below, we use P to display paragraph text, and inside it, we use an A tag to define a hyperlink. To create a link that opens in the user's email program to let them send a new email, use mail to inside the href attribute. Replace both the href value and the email address between the A tags.
Okay, perfect. So if we look at this, it's a paragraph tag, and then inside that paragraph, we have an A tag. The A tag is used for links, but we don't just want this to display as a link. We actually want it to pick up your default email account on your computer and actually open it up to send an email to your chosen email. We're gonna leave this fake email. We don't want anyone spamming Alana, so we're gonna leave this as is for now.
So then after you've input your email, you're gonna scroll down and you're gonna go to do number 7. It says in the line below, we use an A tag to display our chosen website. This is a great place to use your portfolio website if you have one, or another website that shows off your skills. Replace the href value in the A tag, and in between the A tags with the link you would like to share. Perhaps you would want to share a social media account. Go explore Font Awesome for the corresponding social media icon, and replace line 60, which is used for an internet icon. Make sure what is on your social media is professional.
Okay, great. So some of the lines, since we've been adding code, has shifted the actual lines of code, but we're gonna clean that up. And again, same thing as the email. We're gonna leave this as is. But did you notice, Alana, that the href here for the email has has a mail to it, has an extra piece of information, but this one is just directly to the links. So both of these have to match up. Have you ever used the A tag in any of your projects, Alana?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, so you're familiar with that. That's awesome. So we have completed our project. What are some things do you think, Alana, that students could do to customize this page? We did mention some too in
Yeah.
our to-do. Is
If
there
you would,
anything you think?
yeah, if you would like, you could always add colors. Like maybe you want to change the color of what your name is, or you want to add a background color to the whole page. You can
Oh,
also add like borders around the pictures to make it look a little bit more nice. Things like that.
okay, great. And there's also, I'm not sure if you've ever added fonts, like
Oh
custom
yeah.
font. So maybe you want to use a different font than the default one that's on the page. Okay, awesome. So you're going to copy this link and then paste it somewhere like on a notepad. Okay, so here is the second part of our project. We've designed our webpage, our digital business card, but now we actually want to generate a QR code that we can put on a business card, put on a resume, and many other ways that you can use it. So here is the starter code for the QR Python code. Alana's here and she's at the link for the starter code, and she's going to hit that button that says fork REPL. This code uses a library called PYQR code, and we are on line 1, we're importing the code. That means we're accessing this code that somebody else wrote, and we're using it in our project. So on line 1, we get access to the code. On line 4, we are defining a variable. A variable, you may have learned in some of your computer classes, it's a way to store a piece of information. In this case, we're storing a string, or basically letters and characters, either in the format of a letter, a word, or a sentence. For us, this means our URL. And on line 7, we are storing another piece of information, which is we're using the method in the PYQR code module. We're using the create method, and we're passing in, we're giving it that URL. Remember, we're going to create a QR code that's going to have some piece of information embedded in it. So we're passing in our website, and on line 11, we're storing that information. It's generating the QR code, and it's saving it as a PNG file with the file name my QR code. Great. So Alana, you want to walk us through the two to-dos we have?
Okay, so to-do number 1 says in the line below, a string, word, or sentence which represents the QR code, replace the website below with your business card website. So you're gonna take this and you're gonna input what you had just did with your business card.
Okay, so in your project, to the left, you should have your personal website link for your project. So she is going to replace my business card link with hers.
You don't highlight anything you don't need to, and then replace what is in between the quotation marks.
Okay, so we see that it's installing some of the packages, bringing in that code that we need. And it has generated already, magically, a file called myqr.png. So you want to go ahead and do, I think we hit run too fast on that one.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Okay, so great. That created my qr.png. Go ahead and click on my qr.png, and we can see our QR code. Perfect. If we go back to the main.py, we could actually create another QR code with our own file name if we wanted to. Go ahead and read the to-do number 2.
To-do number 2 says, line 14, create and save the PNG file with the name myqr.png. Replace the name of the file to your chosen file name for your QR code.
Okay, great. So for this project, we can hit run at the very end of the to-dos. So we can go ahead and change myqr.png to our own file name. Or just my QR, just that part of it. So this is a minor change, just to have our QR code be named something that is meaningful to us. That could be our name, as Alana is doing. So go ahead and click out of there and hit run. Perfect. So now we have Alana .png, and we're going to open it up and test it out. Okay, so all kinds of ways to remix this project and create maybe a different layout, style, or content. Some of Alana's suggestions were that she mentioned were awesome to do on this project.
All right, so this is the end. Congratulations on completing our NAFS hour of code. If you would like, you can submit your work to this link for a chance to win a $100 gift card for you and your educator. And if you do plan on doing this, we won't share any of your work without your consent.